Okay, hey guys, I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. Uh, Good. And I'm in my vehicle that God has blessed me with. So I just wanna, I'm parked because my kids are sleeping. One is sick. Anyways, so this is my sister. But anyways, I just kind of want to give you guys like a background on my life. So last year, I left the father of my kids. It was a very nasty breakup, and I moved in with my cousin. Moved in with my kids. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I really didn't have anything in terms of money. I had like $300 to my name, and I had to basically hustle just to, well, not hustle necessarily um like something negative, but really like move quickly and without being afraid in terms of getting a job and all that stuff. So that was in July. I left in the middle of July. Got a job offer at the end of August. Started working, officially working, um, September 14th. So it's a daycare, and I could bring my kids, my two daughters, and then I have my son, who was like 5 months at the time. And the daycare I was working at didn't have space for him. Well, they didn't have a room because they didn't do infants. Hold on, sorry, but they didn't do infants, right? So basically, I had to let my son stay with his dad. We were on okayish terms at that point, but it was really heartbreaking for me to leave my son with him because he lived like 40 minutes away. I didn't have any car, so I was basically dependent on him to bring my son back. So he had my son the whole week, and then I got to see my son the weekends, and then he had to go see his dad, go back to his dad. And he wasn't being taken care of by his dad. He was being taken care of by um his dad's stepmom. So that was that whole story. I probably go into detail about that later in a different video. But to my no car situation, I had no car, didn't have a license. Uh, so it was just, I didn't know what I was gonna do. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description to show you guys like how dark it was when I had to go to work. I would have to leave the house with my daughters at 6:35. Now, to get to the bus, that was to get to the bus stop. Now, if I was driving, like to get to the mall, that'd be like 2 minutes. But to walk with two little girls in the darkness, it took me like 20 minutes because I had to hold them because they were when I tell you petrified, they were petrified of walking because it was dark. And they used to always cry and scream like, "No, mommy, it's dark, it's night, we should be in the house." So, I remember like walking to the bus stop, holding these girls like they were 2.5 and 3.5. So holding these girls are like 68 pounds together, and my 130-pound self carrying them to the bus stop and in this darkness. And I used to be so afraid because it was like, what if someone like realizes that I'm walking every morning at this time, and they like try and thief us, like steal us. Sorry, my accent came out. I'm from the USVI, but I was just so terrified. Like, what if someone really like is stalking us? It's like I always had these thoughts in my head, like I'm gonna have to fight somebody. Am I gonna have to fight somebody for my kids, like so they don't like take us? But thankfully that never happened. So I would walk 20 minutes to the bus stop, right, in the darkness. Then the bus will get there at 7, and my sister, she doesn't know I'm making a video. But anyways, so the bus will get there at 7. And once we were on the bus, we'll be on the bus for like 30 minutes, like 36 minutes. Then we get to the off the bus stop, have to cross the street, cross the street going straight ahead, then cross the street going off to the side, and then turn. It was like from the bus stop to my job was like 8 minutes. So that was a lot. And I will carry them because remember, it's early in the morning. They were not used to like waking up so early, going to daycare, all of that stuff. So they were just like, it was just such a struggle. So I was in there every single day. There would be times where like by the bus stop, there were a couple of people who like gave us rides from the bus stop near my job to my job. There was a police officer that did it once. There was Grandma Mimi. She did it a few times whenever she saw us. There was this guy one time. Like, it was a blessing, even though it was a short distance. It was still a blessing because I was tired. I remember like crying, going right before I would ring the doorbell to go into my job. I would be like full of tears and not just be crying because I was tired. My back was hurting. I was carrying these two girls who were just sometimes hysterical, and I just was like, oh my God, I need a car. Mind you, I don't even know how to drive at this point. How old was I? I was 26 when I started, and then I made 27 like a couple days later. And so speaking of my son, my sister came the 25th to surprise me for our birthday because she's my twin, and she ended up staying with my son. So I got to see. So he was with my ex for like a week only, a week and 2 days. So she was keeping him until she was supposed to go back home. Luckily, she never went back home, so she decided to stay up here to help me with my kids, and she, was watching my son for me. So I didn't have to worry about that daycare, all that good stuff. So now, by December, my sister was like, I need a job. Because my cousin was moving, and I didn't want to move with her because that was just to get the job that I have now was so much. And like to get into the program that we're in so I can like not have to pay $1 million for childcare, it took so long. Like I was seeing half my paycheck every paycheck, so I was like struggling. Even though I wasn't paying any rent or anything, I was struggling because like I was seeing half my paycheck because it was going to my job for my kids going there. So like I had no money saved. So at one point I told my sister, I want my license, and I took one of my paychecks basically to get driving license. So I signed up. She signed me up because I was at work and I was always busy. So she signed me up in October, and I was like, I want to get my license by October 30th. So she signed me up, but then I couldn't start the school until November 15th. And I remember being so like broken. I like November 12th. I was so upset. I was like, why? It's so far. Why did you set it up? And she was like, that was the only thing they had, blah, blah, blah. I was mad because I had my deadline. But, I started driving school, and I had 5 lessons. I got my license December 8th. I took my test. I took my test December 8th. Passed it one time. I got my license like maybe the 16th or something. I don't know. It took a while, but of course, no car, no vehicle, no nothing. Around December 3rd now, before I even like got my license, my ex, he was like, I hate the fact that you're walking and catching the bus to work, blah blah blah, with the girls, so I'm gonna buy your car. So he showed me the car. It was a great car. My sister, she said like way back before I even started driving that I was gonna get a silver car. Okay, and like when I started driving, my oldest daughter, she was 3. Well, she still is 3. She said, I told her, God is gonna give me a car. And she was like, oh, it's gonna be gray. I was like, but your aunt said your Gmail was gonna have a silver. She's like, no, it's gonna be gray. Like, okay. So when my ex showed me the picture of the car, it was a great car. I was like, whoa, really? My daughter is a psychic. So, couple days after he told me about this great car, he calls me. He's like, oh, I have bad news and I have good news. What do you want to hear? And I was like, the bad news. I was like, oh, well, the bad news is the car that I showed you isn't the car that my boss is selling. It's actually a different car. It's hot. My car isn't even on. It's hot. Let me turn it on real quick. Kitty, quick. So anyways, because I'm dying. But anyways, but he was like, I have another car for you. And it was black, whatever. I was like, this is not the car that my sister saw in her dream. This is not the color car that my daughter was talking about. So I was like, you know what, whatever. This is probably God, like, just saying, here's your car. So he told me, he's selling it for, what was it, 12,000. I mean, 1,200. So I was like, okay. He was like, I put 700 down. Do you have 500? Do you have half? Whatever he said. And I was like, I only have 500. The rest I have to do, take care of some business with the rest of that. The rest of the money that I have, I only have 500 to play with. So he was like, okay. So I sent it to him, Cash App. He bought the car. It took him a week to bring the car to me. And then when I saw the car, okay, before I even saw the car, I told him, oh, when it was just a gray car, I told him our daughter said that I was going to get a gray car. And I was like, I told her God is going to give me a car. And he said, I'm not God. So that was like my first thought that I don't know if I should be taking anything from him right now. Fast forward, brings the black car to the house. I see it. It looks sketchy. So of course he said it was supposed to be a 2010. It was actually a 2006. The headlights were yellow, like the plastic was yellow. The driver's side door inside and the passenger behind the driver's side, the knobs, there were no handles to get out of the car. So you would have to roll on the window or have someone open the car for you, right? Now the window in the back couldn't get rolled down. It was taped up because if you didn't have it taped up, the window would fall off. Well, not fall off, but fall down. And you couldn't get it back up. Now, the dash was banged up, wires everywhere. The trunk had mold, had roaches. The car was infested with spiders. Every time you came into the car, you were met with a spider web on your face. It smelled like mold, it got flooded out or something. I don't know. So it was just a bad car. And I was just like, there's some issues with this car, blah, 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 what, So he was so upset, so offended that I was picking on this car. And then I was like, you know what? Let me be grateful. God gave me this car. Let me be happy for it. So me and my sister took a weekend to clean out the car to the best of our ability, right? And I was looking for stuff to buy for the car, and I was like, you know what? Let me not buy anything cheer car. Oh, the leather, whatever it was tore up like a wild animal, tore up the seats. So I was gonna buy chair covers, gonna buy air freshener, everything for the car. And my sister took a weekend to clean it, wash it, everything like that. Looking up DIYs to take off stains. The carpet was terrible. So I didn't buy anything for the car except cleaning products to clean it. We cleaned it out. It smelled reasonably good. Okay. But then we let it sit for a week. Got back in the car, it smelled just the same. It didn't smell worse, which was a plus, but it smelled just as bad as the first day got in it. So now it's going. I was on break for a week from work, and my sister, she was gonna start working at the same job I have. So then I needed a place to put my son. So I found a place, which was my boss's sister. So she was gonna keep my son, but there was no way for me to get my son there without a car. and to pay for Uber for my sister to drop him before she came to work was gonna cost like $50 million, and I was broke to begin with. So I remember it was like the 27th, I believe it was like the 27th, and I was starting back work the 1st of January. I remember just praying to God, like, from that week, the beginning, the Monday, which was like the 25th maybe, just saying like, God, please help me, help me, help me. By the end of this week, before the week ends, please, like, give me a car. I need a car. I can't use that car. It's like it has so many issues besides like the cockroaches and stuff, like mechanical issues that were like terrible. So the 27th comes. I remember I was in the bathroom on the phone with my cousin. She wasn't home yet, and I was just, my sister told me something about something, and I remember I was just so stressed. I like basically blew up on her, and my cousin was like, because I really, over the years, I've gained a lot of patience, right? And I was like, just so upset. I yelled at her, and she was like, my sister was like, what's wrong with you? And then my cousin was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, and I just started to cry. Like, if you know me, you know I hate to cry. I feel so weak when I cry. So she was like, what's wrong? And I sent her, I need a car, I can't carry my son to daycare, just like basically what I told you guys. And I was just so broken at that point. So like, I don't know what I was gonna do. So she tells me, okay, how about this? You want us to go look at cars? I'm like, girl, like, my credit is not the best credit. I don't know how much they're gonna ask for down payment. I'm poor. We're moving. We have to move before you move. So I don't know how much money I'm gonna have to like do anything. So she's like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna, ask for a loan at my bank, or we're just gonna go and see if we can lease a car. She's like, wanna go tomorrow? And I'm like, really? You would do that? And she was like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, God, I told you by the end of this week, it's Friday, tomorrow is Saturday, we go. So we went to Honda, because she was like, she wanted me to get a Honda car, and I was like, whatever, I just want a car. We were thinking about used, and she had like a $15,000 like pre-approval, I think, but she wanted to get a car that was 10,000 out the door, because she didn't want it to be like a lot of something. I don't know nothing about this stuff. But we went to Honda, and the guy was just like making fun of us basically, and trying to make us seem like two stupid girls going to buy a car. And my cousin actually knew a lot about cars, and I was like, ooh. So he was pissed off that she knew about cars, and he was really trying to tell us like the worst of the worst. Not even Hondas, he was trying to tell us. So it's like, whatever. So she had a friend that worked at Toyota, right? And she called him, and she was like, you work at Honda? And he was like, no, I work at Toyota. It's like, okay, we're at Honda right now trying to get a car, so we got to Toyota because this guy is just ridiculous. So he was like, okay. And she was like, who was the best salesperson you know? Because he works on the cars, he's not a salesperson. And he was like, oh, Hank. So okay, we're gonna go to see Hank. We went there, waited a good while to see this Hank guy. By the way, Toyota was like literally right across the street from the Honda. Right, let's just say how things are playing out. So we went there. We meet Hank. Hank is a sweetheart. He's just right away trying to help us out, trying to get whatever. So he's saying, for a lease, this is how much you're gonna pay, and it was like $400. And I was like, a month? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, how much can you do? Like 200? He was like, I'll try it. So he got it down to like 2 something. I think, yeah, 2 something. Then he went somewhere, and something happened. Her credit, my cousin's credit went up because of something. Like, she had a really good credit, but then for something that happened like a little while ago, it went down. I should say it went down. So she checked her credit before they checked it, and she was like, what is this? So when when he checked it, the price went back up, and was like, I cannot do this, like I cannot afford this, like logically. So that he was crunching numbers and keep coming back and, you know, trying to really work with us. And then he came back to us and it was still high, and I was like, God, I was just praying like, God, please, 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 God. Like, I wasn't saying it like out, right? But I was begging God, like, if this is for me, if this is for me, it will work out. It's like, God, I need a car. So when the number was still high, he was like, okay, I'll just see what I can do. But then my cousin was like, oh, I got pre-approved for this amount. What can you do for us with that? So he was like, okay, let me go check. He came back and he was like, listen, I can't do this to you guys. Those cars are not good cars, and I don't want you guys to leave here and just be like, you suck. Basically saying, I don't want you guys to leave here and think that I'm like horrible salesperson by giving you guys like a bad car. So he finally came back and he got the number, the amount I will pay monthly to $267, and I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, like I worked to get like $4,000 off the car discount. And I was like, whoa. And he was like, can you do this? Can you do 267? And I was like, yeah, I think, yeah. And we ended up getting the car, paying the money, and I drove my car back to my cousin's house, and that's the car I'm sitting right now. And let me tell you something, I prayed to God so much for a car before I could even drive a car. The way how it happened, I like gave you guys like the cliff notes, a really short version, but we were in that dealership for about 6 hours with this man really just working to the bone trying to get us this car. And my friend, when he was, not my friend but my cousin's friend, when Hank left to do something else to like get everything finalized, the guy was like, oh yeah, Hank is a great guy. And my cousin was telling him like he got it down to 2 something, and he was like, whoa, like I work here and my payment isn't even 2 something. And she was like, yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. And he was like, listen, that man doesn't need your your business. Like, if he is doing all this, is because he really wants to, because he's already met his goal at this point, way beyond his goal. So he's doing this because he genuinely wants to help you guys. So it was just like so crazy how everything happened, and how, you know, we went to Honda because that was our mindset to go. Well, my cousin, I was just going around because I was trying to get a car. I didn't care what car it was. So the Toyota happened to be across the street. We met Hank, who like really fought for us to get the best like price on a car. I'm looking like a crazy person in this vehicle, but like it was just super crazy how everything like worked together, and then how it was right in time for me to start working, like right in time. And literally, I said before the week ends, on the calendar, right? On the calendar, Sunday starts a new week, no? And what the hell are you at? And I started, what the heck is wrong with this man? Sorry. Saw a stranger. Sorry. But anyway, so on the calendar, Sunday starts the new week, right? So by the end of this week, which was Saturday, I got a car. And I know it was all, I'm fiddling with my lipstick, but I know it was all God, because there's like too many things like hooked up, and coincidence, whatever. That's good for anybody who believes in coincidences. I don't. I believe that God really works with you in mind, and he answers your prayers. So I was just like, blown away. And it felt like all my tears for the past how many months, all my back pain, all my stress, all the screaming I had to hear in my both my ears when my daughters were screaming, saying, "No, mommy, no, it's too dark, it's too dark." Like, it was all worth it, because like God really, he showed up and he showed out, because I was expecting to get a used car. Guys, I got a 2019 car, right? Brand new. 4 miles on it when I got it. Now it has 1,413 miles. But that's all good miles to compared to what would have been, like, man, what I pay on my car is not anywhere near what I would be paying in Uber rides in a month. Okay, like, it just worked out so perfectly, and I've been waiting so long. It's April now. I got this car December 28th. I waited so long to like say this stuff. I don't know why. I hope that it's actually worth listening to, but like, God got me a car. And the car, it's silver. I told Hank I wanted a silver or a gray. I got a silver. Guess what? I got a gray car ish when my ex was gonna get me the gray car, right? So that was the gray car my daughter was talking about. The silver car, this there was only silver, either silver or gray. The silver was the only option between the two. That's the silver from my sister's dream. So in a sense, I did get both cars, right? I did get them. It just doesn't really hit you how good God is to you until you like really start adding things up and you really start looking at your life. Like, in those 5 months, I don't even know how long it was, in those months of me like hustling to work, riding the bus, walking, having to be in the cold, having to be in the hot sun, like, I was just praying. I remember I used to be walking on the street with my girls in my arms, just screaming to God, help me, please. Just crying, screaming into the air, walking in the darkness, just like, God, please. I don't have the strength. I would pray to him for the strength to continue going, because I really didn't have it. And that's what you guys to know, like, no matter what, he's gonna deliver you. And I have so many other testimonies, but like the car one was just crazy. It was just super crazy. And I just want you guys to know that if you believe in God, he will make a way for you, and he will deliver you from whatever you have going on. You're gonna be okay. Like, I'm proof of that. Staying in my car, all my kids' car seats are in the back for the kids. But I don't have to walk anywhere. I just buckle up, everybody, go on the road. When I got my license just in time, because if I had got my license in October, I would have felt so hopeless and so like, really, I got my license for nothing, no car, I still have to ride the bus. But God is good, guys. Believe in what you're praying for. I gave God a time. I'm like, God, by the end of this week, please. Like, I was pressuring him a little bit, and he came through. And and I was like, by the end of this week, I want a car. It's gonna be gray or silver, and I'm not gonna have to register it. I'm not gonna have to worry about taking off work to register it. I'm gonna be able to drive my car legally the second, okay? And because it's coming from a dealership, they deal with all the registrations, so I didn't have to worry about that. Okay, so I got everything I wanted. Everything I wanted. Black interior, I got black interior. So I really, it's crazy how it worked out for me. But God is good, and he is right on time. Because let me tell you, if I had to, I didn't even want to think about it. Like, if I didn't get this car, by the second, like, I don't even want to think about it. I would not be able to work. Or I would be able to work, but I want to be able to get the apartment that I have now. Because my sister wouldn't have been able to work because we were worried about, you know, putting him in childcare because she needs to work so we could have got our own apartment, which we're in our own apartment right now. That's a whole other story, a whole other struggle, a whole other testimony. But keep fighting, keep pushing, guys, because God will come through, and when he shows up, he shows out. And if you have faith and you trust in him and you don't give up and you really believe, sometimes you gotta put pressure on God a little bit and be like, you gotta give God a time limit, a time frame, and believe in that time frame, and he'll come through. Be like, God, I know you're busy, but you see that? You see how I've been unemployed for a little while? Can you get me a job by like this Monday coming up? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just gotta give him a date, and he'll come through. If you really believe it, he'll come through. But of course, you gotta look for the job too. But still, regardless. And sometimes he's gonna put people in your life to help you out, because sometimes it's not just like this miraculous thing of like a job just falling on your head. Sometimes it takes interactions with people to help you get to where you gotta go, to help you get to what you need. And he's gonna use people to help you out, and that's what he did with me. He used my cousin to do that, to say, you know what, I'm gonna help you out with this. He used my cousin knowing that guy who knew the best salesperson in freaking Toyota, the Toyota that happened to be right across the street from the dealership that we intended to get a car from. Like, it don't make no sense. It's not logically like possible that all of that stuff just hooked up out of coincidence. It's like pure God. And I might look a mess, I might look like, I don't know, but this is me in raw form. So it's really coming to you guys on a personal level to tell you guys my story and my struggle, and it's so much deeper than that, and there's so much pain and tears and screams and just like heartbreak that happened in that whole time. And I was just so stressed and so frustrated, and I felt like a failure. I felt like I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt like, what the heck, as a mother I should be able to, you know, get all this stuff done. And I just, man, it took a lot of strength, a lot of me asking God for strength, because trust me, it was days when I was like, I cannot hold these heavy kids in my hand. I'm gonna just fall, I'm gonna pass the heck out. And I would tell God, God, please give me the strength to make it to that tree. God, please give me the strength to make it to that curb. God, please give me the strength to make it to that, like, give me the strength, God, give me the strength. And he did. He gave me the strength to do all of that, and he gave me the strength to make it until I got a car. And that's just what he does. If you feel like you need him to, like, you know, work a miracle now, first and foremost, pray for whatever you pray for, but tell him, in the meantime, give me strength and patience to be able to wait this whole thing out for when you really come and deliver me from whatever I'm going through. Ask for that strength and for that patience, and it's gonna make a big difference. Well, guys, I hope that you like this video. I'm gonna go inside now, check on my sick daughter, get ready for work mañana, and just, you know, go eat some food because I'm hungry. But just want to thank you for watching my video. I hope it inspires you. Keep praying, keep, you know, just focusing on whatever it is that you need God to help you with, and he'll deliver you from that for sure. Right? So thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe. I'll probably do more testimonies and other things, give you like rundowns on my life. I don't know if you care to, but anyways, might have a low battery. So see you guys later. My phone is about to die. Haha. Bye.